What's up, everybody? A new season is here, and so is my new boat and truck wrap. I'll tell you what, 2020, I think it's gonna be a good one. But first off, I wanna show you my setup in my 2020 rig, starting with my Platinum Tundra. This thing is a beast, day in and day out, gets me everywhere I need to go. Just turn that sucker on and go. Also wanna say, we added 2 new partners for this year in the 2020 season. Igloo Coolers, great company, really excited to jump on that team. And as well as that, Frog Togs, their rain suits are phenomenal. They have a lot of great stuff and they're a great company. Now, one thing you will notice on my wrap this year, everything looks very similar, but we have a new pattern. So last couple years, I've had the Realtree fishing pattern. This is the new Realtree wave pattern. And you're gonna see this in some of the Magellan clothing that I wear day in, day out, especially the sun shirts that I wear on the water. That will be in this pattern, which I think looks really, really good. I think it hops really good in the blue and everything else. So heading back to the boat, I got my 21 Triton TRX, 21 TRX. It is a beast. I've run this boat for the last 3 years and I love it. I love it. It runs fast. It has the right amount of storage. But I did a couple different things to this boat that I haven't done in years past. So let's go on back to the back of the boat. We'll start there and then we'll work our way up in the back. This is really one of the most important things for me, starting with my power poles, okay? Power poles, I can't do it without them. They're quick, they're silent. When I hit that button, I know it's gonna take care of it and it's gonna lock me down in a solid position. I always go with 10 footers, and the reason why I go with 10 footers is simple. 10 footers go a couple feet more than 8 footers do. And when you're out there on a flat and say it's 7 foot deep, they're gonna go down there and they're gonna lock you down, where another guy might be sitting there on a school of fish, maybe like lipless crankbait fish, which are notorious for being shallow fish. I can lock down with these where the guy with 8 footers cannot. So that is the key. Longer, in my opinion, is better. For me, power poles are where it's at. They're fast, they're secure, they do all the things that I need them to do. So those are the reasons there. As far as my motor, I've run an Evinrude from the start of my career. I've been with Evinrude as a company. They're great people. They're phenomenal to work with, but they make some great products. And the G2 is one powerful motor. It gets me where I need to go. The torque on this motor, the lower range, getting up on pad, all of those things. When I'm in shallow water, knowing I can get up on pad really quickly. Now you have to mess around the props, and that's something that I do, and I will try to probably shoot a video later on this year talking about the prop selection and what I do for different various lakes or trying to get up on pad, or if I'm trying to get top end speed, I'll make sure to do that because I played around with it a little bit last year and that's definitely helped me out. As far as jack plates, Bob's Machine Shops, Action Jack Plate, I've switched from a couple other brands in the past, and now I'm running this Bob's for the last 4 or 5 years of my career, and I won't look back because this is the thing. One thing that Bob's has that is unbelievable in my opinion, sets them apart, is how fast that jack plate reacts to when you're moving that trim lever up and down. So when I'm in a super shallow situation where I have to get up on pad, that jack plate's getting up very quickly, faster than any other jack plate that I've seen on the market. So just my opinion, can't run your jack plate super high all the time, otherwise you're gonna overheat your motor. I can trim it back down when I try to blow over a flat, get into a little deeper pocket. That is what I use that for. So this is the back of the boat. Let's head to the bow of the boat and check and see what I switched up this year. All right, heading to the front of the boat. If you have not seen this setup, I posted a picture on Instagram a couple weeks back or so, maybe a week, 10 days ago, that I'm running a new electronics setup. And I also have done a video of my bow setup and my console setup. I have one other thing that I'm adding on this video that I did not have in my console setup before. I shot those videos, so if you're looking to know more about this setup, I'm not gonna go super in depth on it. I will drop the link in the description below. And this front end of the boat setup, I opted to go with the Ultrex. I've run it for years. It's a good trolling motor. Now there's a lot of other trolling motors out there on the market. I've heard Garmin's has absolutely killed it with theirs. Lowrance has a solid trolling motor, and I heard there's one other one coming out. So I'm just, I'm more than anything going to be looking and trying to use the best products I possibly can. And so I might even check out that Garmin. I know Mark has it on his boat, and I know there's I think PowerPole's coming out with one which I've heard is pretty dang awesome. So I'm excited to sort of see whether I stick with the Ultrex or I end up going with something else. I'm just going to try to go with the best products throughout my whole boat. As far as electronics goes, I have a setup. I have a Lowrance HTS Live up top, very similar to last year. I have a Helix 12 right here. And the reason I did this is I used my mapping and C-maps on my Lowrance on my HGS12. I have my NEMA network, my Ethernet set up to where my back has a Lowrance as well, so I can share waypoints if I set up a waypoint. I don't have that set up on my Humminbird. And then down low on the Humminbird, I use it for 360, which I don't have right now. Still waiting on it. I have one that I sent to factory that actually had a little bug in it, so they're trying to fix that, and hopefully I'll have it for the first tournament at Eufaula. And then obviously Lake Master is something that all of us know there's value in. And I think C-Maps has done a great job on their mapping, but Lake Master has sometimes has a little bit better of a view on that. So another thing that I added was the Garmin Panoptix. This is something that is a huge deal. I've seen it where Mark's like, dude, you got to get it. It's unbelievable. And I've seen it when it's great. There's times it's going to work. And this is the thing. All right. All these electronics, you know, really have their main deals that they are really good at. There's things that they're better than the others. So obviously, like Humminbird has the Lake Master, they have the 360. Lowrance has a great 2D, has a great good mapping, has the 0.1. Garmin has the Panoptix. They all have things that make them great. So I wanted to try to basically use them all for the main things that they were good at. So we're gonna see throughout the year. I don't know a whole lot about the Humminbird. I don't know a whole lot about the Garmin, so I'm gonna learn those units as I go. So one thing that I did forget, let me grab this real quick in the truck, slide back. I got the iPad right here. This is something that I added to the console area of my boat. Let's go ahead and jump on in and I'll go through the rest of the boat. Okay, so I'm looking at my setup right here. I have my iPad set up, ready to go. And the reason I've seen so many guys do this is something that I've seen several professional anglers doing this. And the thing with this that it helps is it allows you to look at aerial photos and really see something a little bit different than maybe the standard aerial photo that you can get off of your units, off your Lowrance or your Humminbird. So that's something that I wanted to have. On top of that, I have two units set up right here. I have a BoatLogix mount, which I've run all BoatLogix mounts. They're a company here in Chattanooga that has a phenomenal, very secure mount. It's probably the best mount that I've used on any of my boats. They just really put a lot of time and thought, and they lock them down and they're really secure. So as far as the units go, I have 2 units in the back. I have my Lowrance HGS Live. That's down scan, that's side scan. I have both side scan and down scan, or side imaging and down imaging on the Humminbird, and then on side scan and down scan on the Lowrance. I'm using both of those, and there's various reasons why I'm doing that. You can check that video out, like I said, in the description below if you want to know more. But they're both really good units. Obviously, overviewing it, there's the C-maps on the Lowrance, there's the Lake Master on the Humminbird, so it gives me 2 different views, which is really, really important. One thing that I did not show you guys in the back is my battery setup, so let's see that. Yep. All right, so when I show you guys this, you're gonna be like, what the heck? But bear with me because there's a rhyme and reason to everything. So I have, in total, 6 batteries back here. You're like, Jacob, what the heck? Why are you running 6 batteries? First off, I'm gonna show you my lithium setup. And I have 3 lithium pros right here, the 12-volt batteries, okay? And this is the reason why. 3 lithium pros, 12-volt, these are all run in series to run my 36-volt system. And then a backup 36-volt battery. Now, what I'm saying by this is, a lot of times when lithiums die, they don't give you a rhyme or a reason. They just click, they're gone, okay? So if I get in a position where for some reason my battery's been charged, something goes bad, and somewhere I'm practicing, and for some reason something happens, all I have to do, the guys at Weedos Marine helped me set this up. They did a phenomenal job with this, and they helped me set up the whole boat, is I disconnect this guy right here. Here's my 2 main leads. I connect this, and then I got power again right off this 36-volt. So my single 36-volt battery is not gonna last as long as obviously those 3. It's a 40 amp hour, 36-volt Lithium Pros battery. Does a great job, but that is the reason behind it. Lithiums are great, but again, there's a negative of them not telling you, like traditional batteries where he slowly gets weaker and weaker. Lithiums run 100% until they click, they're done. So that's sort of a safety deal. Hopefully I don't have to use it a lot this year at all. Hopefully I don't have to use it at all, but that's just sort of a safety for me. When we're out there on the water and I need that battery, I have it and I know I'm good to go. Now, as far as starting battery and everything else, I have 2 Group 31 Decas, I believe, in this one. And they're, I mean, at the end of the day, they're run to where They're both charged and ready to go for my starting battery, my electronics, everything. I don't want to have it to where an issue comes where I need that battery to start and I don't have the power. Another thing that I can do is I can jump off of this Deca onto a lithium if I have to with that 12 volt. With a 36 volt system, if you have two, which I ran that last year, you can't jump off of one if it needs that power. So that is something that I have. As far as the battery charger, I have them in Coda Precision back here right now, but I've heard some great things about the new power pole charge system. So I have one actually at the house. I'm going to charge it throughout the year. I'm going to probably put it back in here and try to get it set up, and I'll let you guys know how that works. But I've heard great things about it, and I'll probably put that in the boat later on this year, but maybe like another video that I do. So that's the setup back here. Let's look through the inside of the boat and see what we got here. Okay, so one thing that I really like about this year is they have the option of having a booster seat, or like a booster underneath. That is something that elevates me a little bit more. That is definitely nice to have. As well as that, this year you can just tell, like, having a little bit of room, giving you more a lift to where you can see over all this grass as well. It's a good thing. I did add some speakers into this. I think these are the Clarion speakers. I'm gonna put that sucker on. And that's just for, like, listen, when we're out here on the boat, this is like my home away from home. Between that truck and this boat right here, this is my home. This is the time I spend almost all my time when I'm out working. I wanna make it to where it's comfortable. I wanna make it to where I can enjoy it. And when, say I'm out there idling around, I gotta turn some music on. It has a Bluetooth music set up. I mean, that works for me. But yeah, so just having a little add-on right there. Let me turn him off. I have my power pull switches back here, right here below that. My jack plate gauge, which lets me know when I'm running. I can see that, know if I'm up or down or too far up. I try to pay attention to your jack plate gauge because that's really going to allow you to know when your boat really performs. You know, there's times where you can figure out, okay, number 2, if I can get to 2 out of 10, and then you end up raising your jack plate up as you go. That is something that I feel like is something that's really, just paying attention to that will allow you to really get the best out of your boat. We have your live well switches. I have a horn. Seems to work just fine. And lights. I also added, let me see here, I'm gonna turn my power on. I added some LEDs up front, so that'll be cool. Some LED lights just to have those. When I'm filming at night, I have some on my truck as well. So that's sort of gonna have enough light where when I'm trying to talk to you guys, you can actually see my face, which happens sometimes where you're like, what the heck? You film in the dark, it happens. So let's turn that off and let's just head to the front of the boat where everything goes down. All right, so let's jump into this broad box. I will have all of my carpet decals on my boat when I start the season, but waiting on the carpet decals from Z Decals that are down in Georgia. Great company that's always looked out for me. But anyway, so going to the right side of the boat, this is sort of my setup for the start of this season. I have my push pull right here. It's something that's simple. If I need it, I get it in trouble, or I need to push around. It's great to have right there on my right hand side of that rod locker. I have some of my spinner baits, some of the new spinner baits that came out with Accent. I have right here some of my favorites. You guys can tell, little orange blades. Got that. I have some little river spinner baits that I've had forever. I have the main line that I use day in and day out. I use 12, 14, and 17 pound Sufix advanced fluorocarbon. So I have that as backup in there. So if I backlash, which it happens plenty, I have it in there. I have some backup reels, so if I do backlash and I need to spool something up, or if I have a gear ratio, this is a 7:5:1. These are the new Paradigm reels from Duckett. I have those ready to go. I have the spinner baits where they're just blanks, where they're just literally in here. They have 1/2 ounce willows. I have all different sizes. These are all Accent spinner baits. And I have a skirt box in there, so if I want to swap something out and I need a certain color of spinner baits, I'm ready to go. So spinner baits are making a comeback. You know, everybody's on this chatterbait kick and this vibrating jig kick. I have a shaky head box. I have my chatterbait blade box. Hey, I'm telling you all the dang goods. I'm telling you what's up. And then I have this box that's called DC's Baby. What do you think that is? I mean, what it is a whole bunch of scroungers. Connell loves, you know, that scrounger. So I've always named my box DC's Baby because he's always taught me more about the scrounger than I've known. I've always wondered about it, but he's taught me a lot about it. So DC's Baby's right there. I got some blade bait, some flashes, got some dip and dye. And then of course, to try to keep you organized, having the label maker, that's what I try to have, you know, just to keep things labeled, ready to go. So that's it for that right hand side. You know, I have a couple life jackets in the back of the truck. I normally wear those Onyxes, and then I have some backup Onyxes that we'll talk about that here in a second. So going into the goods, I don't know if I want to show you guys this, but I got to. And this is sort of my setup, probably what I'm gonna have in my boat for the start of practice. I might add a couple things, but overall I think it's good to go. Bam, there you go. So it's a little bit messy. I got stuff everywhere. It is what it is. I have DT6s, I got crankbaits from spinnerbaits to jig, but it's all labeled again. It's all labeled. DT10s, I got them all right here. Lipless crankbaits, I have 3 lipless crankbaits, deep jerk baits, hook boxes, stupid tube heads, finesse swim bait heads, just regular swim bait heads, spinnerbait blades, vibrating jigs, Kraken crawls, bandito bugs, Nico, sea rigs, Tokyo rigs. I got it all set up in there. I put this little deal up here to sort of like put baits and stuff, and it seems like it's worked okay. And it's like it just sort of, I don't know, I don't know what company makes that, but anyway, but it seems cool. I have a little boomerang tool here, so and one right here. Boomerang tools are pretty cool. I mean, they do a good job. And then I also have all my toolboxes right here. So measuring stick, pliers already wrapped up there. So if I need to grab it and just pop a hook out, another scissors. I think these are like braid scissors. I found those, I don't know, I must have got them a while ago, but I think they're pretty legit. So yeah, and then the other thing I do have, and this is something that I have to add, is I have like a little a little box down here. So like a big Magnum Sharpie to color my braid black, some clippers, some snips, side cuts. I got some other scissors down here, some super glue, some shrink wrap, a lighter. Those are the things that I'm gonna need down there in the bottom, just where, you know, to have it if I need to, you know, put some super glue on something. Like this is where my working area is, so I want to make sure I keep it somewhat clean, somewhat organized, and that's where it is. Going over here to the right side of the boat, this is my rod box. I got a lot of rods in there, and I carry a lot of rods. I do. I think on average, before a tournament, I rig about 30 rods. That's just for me. I'll start this process a week before with my iPhone notes. I'll get my iPhone notes out and I'll go down through there. The rod, the reel, the line size, the lure, exactly what I want on there, and I have it all set up. If I can do it, I'll, you know, keep it ready to go, and then I'll check them off as I go. So without further ado, the rod box. I got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Obviously you can see a lot of my Duckett series, Jacob Wheeler Signature series rods are in here, along with some of the black ice rods. Those are like the high-end Duckett rods. I have, you know, obviously lipless crankbaits, square bills, spinner baits, jigs, DT6s, little swim baits. I mean, I got it all. I mean, the new Guggen jig that I've been messing around with a little bit. I'll show you this one right here. So this Guggen jig, I've been telling you guys about it. I'm not partnered with Guggen baits on their jigs, but I just think it's a good jig. I think it's their casting jig. It's like a 1/2 ounce, and it has a really good hook in it. It has a really good weed guard. And the thing about jigs that I like to have is I want to have a pretty heavy weed guard, so that way I can customize the jig for what I like. And what I mean by that is I can cut this down and I'm good to go. So that is really important. Good jig, good hook, good colors. They did a good job with it. They did a good job on that. I have not tried the swim jigs and everything else, but it seems like they've done a good job on all of them. And they all have hand-tied skirts. So anyway, so that's it for there. You know, we have probably 30 rods in there. The one thing that I do when I get my boat is I take out the divider. You'll see that there's no divider in there. I take out the divider in there. I take out the little rod holder here, so that way I can put more rods inside of my rod box. I do use these original rod socks. They have this little thing on the end. It seems to work really well, so I use those because they work for me. But protecting your investment is always something that's important. As you can see, I've already been fishing in my boat, and you can see some of the baits that I have right here. I got multiple different baits that I throw sometimes, and I've been out here messing around. I got some, you know, I got everything. I got old Lucky Crafts, I got Lure Jensen's, I got some more of those Guggen jigs, I got red eyes, I got it all. So, you know, swim baits and square bills, you guys see it all. So that's my little tray that I put those baits there and let them dry off before I put them back in the box. I have to do my job of putting those back in the box. Been a little bit lazy as of late, trying to get everything else knocked out. Now, we'll slide to the back real quick here. Got two, you know, major live wells within the Triton, the 21 TRX. Triton makes a huge live well. I'm not gonna bore you guys too much, but they have a good system. And when I fish a lot of the little 3-fish tournaments around here at the house, you know, obviously in Major League Fishing, we don't put fish in our live wells. We weigh them right there on the spot. but they have a phenomenal live well system. It's very deep, carries a lot of water, and so I've never had an issue with fish dying on that side of things. Back here in the very back, America. I actually bought these for the 4th of July. These are Onyx life jackets, and they're pretty stylish. So I keep these in here because in some states across the country, even if you have the inflatable kind, you have to have one of these life jackets in your boat at all times. So a lot of times I'm wearing that Onyx life jacket, but I have at least 2 in here. So when Birdie myself or camera guy myself, fish wheel myself are in here, I'm legal and I have both of those ready to go. Let's have some more tackle back in here. I sort of use this for tackle. If you're trying to get more speed out of your boat, you want to put more weight towards the back of your boat. So I'm not really big on the whole speed thing. Like, I mean, last year, out of my last year's boat, I got 73 miles an hour, 72.9 on Falls Lake in North Carolina. Cameraman, fish wheel, myself, that was really fast. But I also was traveling a lot lighter than normal, but pretty fast with 3 people in the boat. Okay, so I have a fire extinguisher, all that stuff, a rope. I got the money bag right here. I got snacks. I like one of my favorite snacks in the whole wide world. All right, quick shout out to the guys at Weeders Marine. They set all of this up with you know, the poles, the electronics. I added a lot to the list that I wanted this year, and so they set up all my boats. And at the end of the day, if you're looking for a new used boat, make sure to check out Weedus. He's right there in Kentucky, right across the border from Cincinnati. So great group of guys. I've been buddies with them for a long time, and really appreciate them taking the time and the effort they put into this boat on my 2020 boat for this year.
Pick up that bag and drop it again.
So one of my favorite little snacks out here on the boat is the Bison Epic Bar. It's actually pretty low carb and it's good for you. So I have that along with almonds. And then I'll add some fruit to this. This is sort of my favorite snacks throughout the year. I sort of keep that. And my wife has got me plenty of them. I'll probably eat like 2 or 3 of those a day, especially if I don't, you know, I'm practicing or competing. I don't eat a lot of lunch. I don't eat a big lunch. So just having something where I have energy throughout the day is really, really important. Throwable device. I have some duct tape, fire extinguisher, some jumper cables, prop wrench. And then the one thing that I have to add, and something that I want to add, I have a rope down there. I want to add a box, which I have a few more days before we leave to go to Eufaula. Every single screw, bolt, hex head, whatever it is in the boat in one single box. So that way, when I need something back here, I have the exact size that I need and I don't have to dig through a toolbox and try to get this or that. So just making sure that I have those right here ready and very accessible in the boat is important to me. So that's really about it. I mean, I think that we covered the majority of it. I've got a pretty cool setup. I feel really good about this 2020 setup this year. I'm excited to see what this boat does, and hopefully we can catch a few fish to start off at Eufaula. Thank you guys so much for following along. We will drop that Eufaula video here pretty soon. We're going to start heading that way. We'll have the travel video and have a lot of fun with that. Thank you guys so much for following along on the YouTube channel, and we'll see y'all next time.